Let's talk Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. If you're like me, you're absolutely addicted to this show. And I'm not going to lie, when I first watched this show, I was like, this show's ridiculous. This show's so triggering. I can't even watch it. I'm not even joking. I took like a 6 month, 9 month. Okay. I just ate serum, so that's nice. I took like a 9 month break from the show. I started watching it and then I had to go take a break. Why? Why, you ask? I was so triggered by not only the friendship dynamics that were happening in this group, but by the fact that I related with almost every single one of these women in some way, shape, or form, and not in a good way. And that triggered me. That triggered like all of these inner child wounds and like insecurities that I had. So let's get into it. Number one, I'm just going to own right now that I'm probably the most like Whitney. And that's going to trigger a lot of people. And it's okay. It triggers me. It literally triggers me. But I would be remiss if I lied and said that like I related with somebody neutral like Layla or Macy, because let's get real, like they're not really that polarizing, right? They kind of stay in the neutral middle. I would almost argue Jen does this as well. Like it's hard to hate them or really like them. They're just kind of like, they're those people in a friend group that are like friends with everyone and don't get involved in any of the drama, meaning they don't take a stand. So when you need them to stand up for you, they won't. But at the same side, the other side of that coin is that they don't get involved in any drama to keep themselves safe. So like you're never going to really have beef with them, but they're never going to stand up for you when you are in the fire. And we all know friends like that. So this is why I'm saying that this show is really triggering, because it triggers, like it so mimics friendship dynamics with women. And especially me, I was like in an all girl friend group for a couple of years. We had all left a religion together, Mormonism actually. And it was like we all had these different parts of our personality, and that friendship group like ended really bad for me. Like it blew up in my face, and basically I was the Whitney of the group. So like it really triggers me to watch the show, and that's why I couldn't watch it for 6 months. But I want to talk about like how we all can actually relate with every character in this show, because at first I like blew this show off like this show is just dumb reality TV, like it's entertainment. I'm not gonna like be out here taking this seriously. But like the more you watch it, the more you realize like these women are dealing with some real life stuff. Like they're dealing with like marital problems, they're dealing with infertility, they're dealing with like just things that all women cope with and deal with, right? And it's like, especially me coming from a Mormon background, and like at this point when I started watching the show, I was ex-Mormon, and I have a whole other video on how this show actually opened my mind to going back to church, which is absolutely wild. But like seeing these women and how they navigate Mormonism and how they navigate the patriarchy, in addition to all these like problems that they have in their marriage that are totally relatable, I think any woman can relate with them, no matter if they're Mormon or not, no matter like if they have a religious background or not, they can relate with like every single woman. So let's get into it. Number one, why am I like Whitney? I think I'm like Whitney because I was how Whitney is when I was in an all-girl friend group. And this is what I mean. Like Whitney's obviously really young, and like caveat, all these women are young. So like I'm giving them so much grace for like their ridiculousness and their antics. They're young. They're in their early 20s. Like that's a big ask to ask women in their early and mid 20s to like have babies, be out here having careers, like maintaining these full lives that like women that are in their middle age usually do, not women in their 20s. Usually women in their 20s are out making mistakes and like having experiences. So the fact that these women are in charge of children is kind of wild. And so we have to give them so much grace. Like that's the caveat, okay? But like number one, when I was in like this all-girl friend group, in addition, like similar to these girls in Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like it on the surface, it looks like this all empowering like female group where everyone's like supporting each other and loving each other, but that's not actually what happens, because unfortunately we live in a patriarchy where women are second-class citizens. And so women in these groups, it is a microcosm for passive aggressiveness and for power dynamics where women are taking out on each other their loss of power. And it's usually stems from their own relationships. The marriages that they're in, many of these women in this show are in disempowering marriages. They're pick-me's. The culture has taught them to be this way. And so they're in disempowering marriages. They're in unfulfilling marriages, I want to point out. Not one of them, aside from, and I know you're going to hate me when I say this, but Brett and Demi seem to have like the most connected relationship. Everyone else has terrible surface level relationships, but they have like 5 kids built into the mix. So like they're staying out of obligation, but their husbands don't understand them. Their husbands are scared of their power. In Jordan's case, Jordan and Jesse's case, like Jordan's constantly trying to humble her because he's scared of her. He's scared of her beauty. He's scared of her power. He wants to humble her. And unfortunately, this happens a lot in relationships. I'm not even going to say in Mormon relationships. I'm not even going to say in like young marriages. I'm going to say in all marriages, men are intimidated by powerful, beautiful women that have it all. And they will consistently try to humble you so that you stay with them. Instead of actually doing the work necessary to deserve you, they will emotionally abuse you and tear you down, which is what Jordan does to Jesse. So if you look at all of these marriages, they all suck, okay? So these women are quite literally relying on the relationships that they have with each other to have emotional intimacy. But the hard part is that a lot of these women are not healed. They haven't done any of the work to demand better for themselves, i.e. look at their relationships. They're dealing with abuse like Jen and Zach. Like they're dealing with men talking down to them and like belittling them because they haven't done the work yet to fully stand on business and demand more. There are some that are doing the work, like Taylor's doing the work. From what I can see, Macy's done a lot of work on herself and she's trying to like stand on business and be more, strong in her own right. But like most of these women aren't. And if they are, they're doing like surface level therapy, like Michaela trying to get over like her essaying and like when she was a child. Like I give her props for trying, but like why don't you look at like the deeper dynamics of your life? And that's a whole other thing. But a lot of them aren't willing to go deep. And so as a result, their marriages are surface level and their friendships are surface level. And oftentimes these all-girl friend dynamics are literally a way for women to feel like they have support and to feel like they have people around them, but they don't have real emotional intimacy with these other women. And in fact, a lot of these women look at the other women as a threat. Instead of looking at them as a friend and a support, they look at these other women as a threat. And you can see this throughout the dynamics in Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. They're constantly vying for power. If you look at Demi, constantly vying for power with everybody, like puppeteering people, trying to be at the top of the food chain, trying to humble people. You're always going to have a woman in an all-girl friend group that is the queen bee, that is the most dominant. She will be in the center of all the photos. She will be the one making all the plans, but she requires absolute loyalty to her. If you ever call her out, if you ever demand more from her, she will gaslight you, blame shift, project, completely go full-blown narcissist on you because she has to be at the top of the food chain for her like very survival. Like she can't even function unless she is at the top of the food chain. So you're going to have that. That is Demi in these friendship dynamics. I can honestly say I cannot relate with Demi. I've never been the type of person to be horrible and to like be two-faced and to perpetuate or like puppeteer dynamics behind the scene to make another woman feel small. I have never done that. So I cannot say that I am like Demi. I don't understand her. I don't understand her personality type. I try to stay as far away from people like that because damn, have I been burned like by friends like that, okay? I feel like I'm probably more like I can relate more with like Taylor in this group because Taylor is a person who is a leader, but she does it in a quiet way. Sometimes she'll pop off on you if like you deserve to be humbled. But like for the most part, Taylor is just out here living her life. The reason why Taylor is a leader is because she's nice to everybody and she has pure intent. She has a pure heart and people can see that. They can feel that. So they automatically trust Taylor. The reason why people don't trust Demi is because she has that mean girl power dynamic where all she cares about, it's very narcissistic. She only cares about power and control. Taylor's automatically at the top because she's confident, because she puts people in their place when necessary, but for the most part, she does wish the best for people and she tries to bring people up with her. And also I would add Taylor's doing her own work on herself. So people respect that. People admire that. She automatically has respect and admiration. She doesn't have to do puppeteering behind the scenes to like get people to respect her. She automatically commands respect. Follow along for part 2.